It's very special to be with a rising star in our education system. Joe Devoki, this is I think, the simplest thing that I can use to describe you. You are one of the youngest leaders in our education, community education system in Iowa City here. You are a son of this community.
Correct.
You grew up here and you always wanted to be here, and you are here now, one of the leaders. It is very ironic that you are one of the youngest leaders that is leading one of our oldest schools in the district, the great school of Horace Mann.
Correct.
A very special school, and you are a very special man. I was personally impressed by your presentation last year as an assistant principal of Grantwood Elementary School. And I have always waited to see you at the helm of another school to see how these ideas, because you talk to me a lot about foreseeing the future and the aspiration and what's in your mind. And we talked a lot about diversity and about issues that were very, very critical. We didn't have a lot of preparation at the time, but you were just natural speaker, addressing all the issues that our community here is concerned about. We welcome you in our episode tonight, and I would like you to give our audience a little bit background of who is Joe Devoki.
All right. Well, like Hani said, this is my third year in Iowa City. 2 years prior to this, I was the assistant principal at Grantwood Elementary, and then prior to that, did some teaching and leadership in Cedar Rapids, and then prior to that in Marshalltown. So, also like Hani said, this is where I call home from Solon, so I'm familiar with the area, and so knew I wanted to be back here in Iowa City because there's a lot of great things and great opportunities for not only students but staff and just the community in general here in Iowa City. So,
and in Grantwood, you have already left a legacy there, and you have your fingerprints all over there on a lot of projects, a lot of ideas, and with the leadership of Mrs. McConaughey there. I think you were a great team together. And now you are on your own, leaving about 600 students to maybe one third, a little bit above one third of this number. Tell me, what was your feeling when you were accepted as the principal of Horace Mann?
well, obviously it was excitement. You know, I knew that eventually I wanted to be the leader of my own building. I mean, you know, had great opportunity to work at Grantwood and work with Ms. McConaughey, the principal there. Definitely sad to leave the students and the staff and the community at Grantwood, but, you know, knew that with, you know, everything in life comes new opportunities and new challenges, and so when the opportunity to become the leader at Horace Mann became available, and they, like I said, offered me the position after going through the process and the interview and all of that. You know, like I said, it was great excitement, you know, and taking what I've learned from other schools that I've been at and kind of starting to try to infuse some of that stuff into the culture over at Horace Mann. I mean, Horace Mann has its own long-standing traditions. I mean, like you said, it's one of the oldest buildings within Iowa City, the school district, and so, I mean, trying to take what's already been started there, the great things, and kind of build upon those while infusing, you know, new things to kind of keep moving forward.
When you started holding your pencil and your paper and started to plan for the future of this wonderful school, what was in your mind?
I think like I said, I just wanted to keep building upon the traditions and the culture that's already established there. You know, I mean, I think like any building, there's a lot of great things happening, and just accentuating those things and kind of building upon it. I think one thing I wanted to really, capitalize on as the university. I mean, obviously the university has a big impact upon all schools in the district, but I feel like Horace Mann is in a really unique position because of our location. We do see a lot of students involved in our building, whether it's volunteering or doing practicums or stuff. And so one thing I, have kind of started to work upon, kind of getting the groundwork going. I mean, I don't know if we'll see it coming to fruition this year, because a lot of, like with everything, it takes a lot of planning, but it is trying to, develop some more like after-school activities for students, different clubs, whether it's a gardening club, sports clubs, dance clubs, music club, things like that, and tapping into those resources that the university has to offer. So that's one thing, and then also, building upon the community, the families, the parents, kind of get them they are very involved, but trying to, always find ways to, increase the parental involvement, community involvement, because I think that's the other great thing about Horace Mann and its location is the community and the businesses. I mean, I know, all the businesses that are around there are very supportive of Horace Mann and the students and the staff, and so really trying to utilize them as a resource, whether it's, partnering for different opportunities, whether it, I know they're very supportive of things for our PTOs. I know a lot of the local businesses in the Northside neighborhood there and surrounding have been really supportive with our PTOs this year of creating, once a month, kind of having it be, Man Night, for example, at El Banditos or Poly Eyes or High Ground Coffee. I mean, there's numerous ones that are really trying to, partner with the community, partner with the schools, I should say, and because with that comes the support and stuff that allows for opportunities for students.
We have fundraising, I think, coming soon.
We do. We do have some fundraising stuff coming soon, and we're always. I mean, as our PTO is a very supportive PTO, and they are, trying to find ways to support our students and our staff, and so they do a lot of things. The community partnering with the businesses, for those Man Nights. I mean, Man days at like El Banditos or restaurants like that. The other thing that we have coming up this Thursday, the 15th of January, would be the PTO Pancake Supper, where they collaborate with the Hamburg Inn and other local businesses to put on a pancake dinner. We also have coming up the 25th, Sunday the 25th, at Mill as Man Night at the Mill, and so there's some local bands that come. One is made up of all students, so I think that's a great way to accentuate some of the activities and stuff that are going on there. We do have, coming up in April, the carnival and silent auction, and so again, that's partnering with our businesses and local other places across the community. So, like I said, the end result is to find ways to support the students and staff at Horace Mann. So.
And you emphasize the sports too.
Yep.
Can you talk to me about this?
Well, so one thing that I really, I know, a lot of students outside of school, maybe whether it's soccer or football or baseball or basketball, but also providing opportunities for students that might not be doing those outside of school, whether it's having university people come in, having like a sports club, where they're teaching like fundamentals of football or teaching fundamentals of soccer and kind of getting
basics.
Yep, kind of getting the kids, kind of trying to build their confidence and also trying to get them, excited about sports that maybe they would want them to lead to possibly looking at being on a Iowa City Kickers team or a Little League team or something like that. So, not only the sports, but the arts,
Right.
having an art club after school or, music club, things like that. And so really trying to get students to try different things that, they might not do if they didn't have the opportunity. So like I said, it's one of those things that we're working on throughout the course of this year to try to hopefully get it up and running for next year. With everything, it takes planning, and, the schedules of the university and the school district aren't necessarily always the same, so that finding the time for the students to come into the building and, having that work out logistically is proving to be a challenge, but we're trying to figure it out so we can get it up and running at the start of next year. So.
And I guess that you're building good connections with Southeast Junior High.
Yep.
Was among the sixth graders this transition time.
Correct. Yep. And so just like every other elementary that feeds into Southeast Junior High, The Southeast staff will come over and we'll start talking about the registration process. We actually have that started tomorrow. Our sixth graders will be meeting with the counselor from Southeast, and we'll kind of get that process rolling about scheduling and things like that. And so,
You really started earlier.
well, I mean, that's
That's,
I can't take credit for that. That's Matt Degner, the principal over at Southeast, kind
Right.
of gets that ball rolling because they have their deadlines of when they have to have things go in, so they can look at class sizes and things like that and course offerings. And so, they start next week, and then later on we'll help with the transitioning. If students, would like to, go over there and visit, and we'll work with the school to try to figure that out. If the parents have questions, I know Southeast is offering a parent night where they can come over and kind of any questions and stuff that need to be answered, they can do that. And so, because we want to make that transition from, elementary to junior high as smooth as it can be, because, I know, speaking personally from being a middle school teacher up in Cedar Rapids, that transition is a difficult one, and it can be, a hard one for some kids, and so trying to make that as smooth as possible. And I know Southeast is very accommodating. I know several families that have over the summer kind of brought their kids in and walked them around and tried to help with that transition piece, because there's a lot of things different from elementary to middle school, or I should say junior high, and so that, the finding their classes and, having to get from class to class within a set period of time can be difficult for some kids. But I think, between the collaboration of, the elementary schools and the junior highs, I think we make that transition a pretty smooth one for kids.
And what are the main challenges that you have at Horace Mann?
I think with like any building, I mean, it just depends on a lot of things. I mean, I think, obviously, like you said, I was coming from Grant Wood, which is about 600 kids, to Horace Mann, which is about 240, 250. And, with a smaller building comes many positive things. I mean, it's, you get to build better relationships with the students, the families, and the staff. You kind of get to be in the classrooms more, working with kids more. You're not as, spread thin, where there about 600 kids.
And you told me before, I remember last year, maybe the year before, you told me that you really love teaching.
I do.
I mean, you enjoy teaching.
I do, and so I feel like with the smaller building, I have more opportunity to get in the classroom, or see kids in the hallway or in the lunchroom. I mean, I'm in the lunchroom every single day serving lunch. I kind of have time to talk to the kids as they're coming through, so that's one way to connect with the kids. So I think that's a positive. But I mean, with
this kind of boundary falls, so they feel that they are close to you and you are close to them, and they can.
I agree. And so I think with the smaller school, it allows me to do that, have more opportunity to interact with the kids. Whereas, the larger school, sometimes it's harder to do that. With more kids, comes, more responsibilities in other places at a time. And, but I think, with a smaller building comes challenges of trying to, figure out all those pieces to the puzzle. I mean, because, when like most buildings in the district, we share, certain positions like music, or a lot of our special teachers, or we have halftime, like reading teachers. And so the scheduling piece is, that was kind of like a puzzle. But I think, the great thing about Horace Mann is, we've got a great staff, and, we'll sit down and figure stuff out together. And so it's been a good start to the year, and they're teaching me a lot of things. And so I'm very thankful to have, very welcoming and accepting staff, kind of accepting me with open arms and helping me kind of get through this first year. And so
one of the things that I have noticed when I was serving in the capacity of an educator in this community is that people who teach at Horace Mann, they like to stay there.
I agree.
And some of them have been there for, they have longevities.
Yep, I agree. I've got, I have a pretty diverse staff in the fact that I have some that have been teaching for quite a few years, like you say, and some that have been teaching for, 5 years or so or less. And I do think, like you said, the one common theme that I've heard not only from the current staff but other people that I've known that have worked at Horace Mann is that it's a building that people really like to be at. I mean, it's got a very connected staff. It's a very close-knit staff. They're a very collaborative staff. They like to work, because since they share kids, since they share so many kids, they're very good about connecting with each other. If they have a question about somebody or things like that, they're really quick to help each other out. And so it's a really good sense of community there. I mean, like I said, I think people that once they teach, they really see what great things are happening at Horace Mann. So.
I know this may be a cliche question, but I'm interested to know, what do you see the future of a new applicant for a position of a teacher in your school? I mean, you are interviewing. I know that this district is pretty decentralized when it comes to hiring.
Yep.
It's up to you to.
Yep. So buildings are, if we have a position, we work
Right.
with our central office HR department, and we work together to kind of figure out what positions we need to fill, and then once it's determined what position at a building needs to be filled, whether it's a teaching position or a support staff, so like our paraeducators and secretaries and things like that, then we as a building are the ones that are able to hire that, because I think like HR, they feel that they want to allow the buildings to have that
Sure.
That say in who's working in their buildings, because we know our buildings, we know we know who would be a good fit in our buildings. And so I look for, and one of the biggest things I look for when it comes to hiring any staff member is that relationship piece, because I feel that that's one of the most important things when it comes to working with kids, is being able to connect with the kids, and so I think that lays the foundation. And so I honestly feel that that's one of the biggest factors that I look for, because I feel that you can teach a lot of other things, but that ability to build the relationships with the kids, that's something that I feel that you have or you don't. And so I think that that's a big thing for me. Other than that, I think a lot of it depends on the position. If you're teaching reading, a position, let's say, for example, we definitely look for somebody that might have some experience, not always, but somebody that has some good, good background in the reading, teaching math, teaching, all the curricular area and things like that. So
Kind of generalist.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I ask this question is a good number of our audience in this particular program who sometimes miss the program on TV, so they go to YouTube, and that our district is offering this service.
Mm-hmm.
So they watch it, and a lot of the audience are new, let's say, student teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I meet them by accident or coincidentally, and they say, "Oh, I watched this, and I would love to work for this principal." So that's why I kind of use this cliche question to ask.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that somebody is sitting there waiting to hear if this is like some principals, for instance, emphasize the part of coaching, and say, "Well, I really find a wonderful person, but if some person can coach in addition to that, this would be a big." And some people say, "Well, no, I have to be honest. I like the relationship. I like how they relate to others." People differ, and
Yep.
that's. I'm trying to explain why I asked you this question, not to put you under the spotlight, but now, how do you foresee the future of Horace Mann under your leadership? You are the new leader of the school, and I am really so optimistic, knowing you and interviewing you now more than 3 times. I have high hopes about this school.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's a lot of great things already happening at Horace Mann, and that's to be attributed to prior leadership, and then the staff, the students, and the families, and the community of Horace Mann. And so, like any place that I've been, I want to continue building upon the great things that are happening there. My goal is to always keep pushing the students and the staff and the community, and by that I mean the school community, forward. Trying to keep, again, incorporating more students into things, and that's why I said, getting opportunities for students that maybe they don't have outside of school, and so trying to do that. Also providing, opportunities for parents. I always tell parents, whatever I can do to support, and vice versa. It's a collaborative effort. I mean, we can't do it alone from the school perspective. So keep building that relationship with the parents. Like I said, I feel that Iowa City is very unique with the university. So keep tapping into the university, whether it's different programs that they might offer to support schools. Or opportunities for students outside of school to go and experience some of the great things at the university. And so I think, like I said, a lot of it is just to keep pushing the school forward and keep developing different programs and different opportunities for students in the community to experience new things and kind of get a taste of many different things.
How about the technology part?
Definitely technology. Yep, we really trying to incorporate technology. I mean, the district had this big push for the smart boards and projections and
and you have enough of that?
Yep. So every one of our classrooms has one of those. We actually worked with our PTO this year and purchased a classroom set of iPads, and so we are working with, like I said, we worked with our PTO. We just received those right before break, and so we're trying to get those rolled out to the building so that students can utilize them when it comes to. There's many different apps that help accentuate the learning, the reading, the math. Also, helps put that technology in the students' hands so they can really tie in from the iPads can connect to the smart boards, which then allow for a lot of more interactive learning and stuff, which kids love the interaction piece, the technology piece. So it's trying to do that. So definitely moving forward with the technology. So.
The point of diversity, because as you probably have noticed during the last few weeks, there are a lot of talks about diversity and how do you classify people and how you move people and how do you bus people and all this very confusing. I get a lot of emails from our audience that people say, for instance, what's the policy of the district, how they are going to settle down. And a lot of people think sometimes that the superintendent with his pencil and paper, he can make a decision like this, They don't know how complicated this process can be. And it has to involve the board members and the Department of Education and the federal policy and so forth. But as far as your school, as your little kingdom, regardless of all these factors that are surrounding it, talk to me about the diversity and if you have less problems than before, more problems than before. How?
I think, like I said, I think Horace Mann is a very unique school in the fact that it has a very diverse population. I mean, and I think that's one thing that...
By nature, from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think just a lot of it because of its location and where it's located at. And I think, in conversations that I've had with parents and community members, I think that's one thing that they really value with the school. And I think that, the great thing about our school is in all schools. I mean, any student that walks through that door, doesn't matter anything about that student, our job is to educate them, and our job is to make sure that they are successful. And so, that's what that's what we keep stressing, and that's what we're going to keep, like I said, making sure that students are walking in our doors.
Welcome.
Yep, and then that they're going to be leaving with the skills and knowledge they need to be successful in whatever endeavor they do next, whether that's at Horace Mann or in Iowa City, or if they move to another school. I mean, like I said, that's our end goal, is that all kids are successful, and that's what we do.
It's wonderful to carry the legacy of Horace Mann himself when he started the whole idea about education, the one-room school and all that. I mean, the name itself is very inspiring.
Yep. And I think Horace Mann just has a legacy within Iowa City. Being one of the oldest schools, and I think it's I think it's got a lot of great things to offer, and I think staff and students that are there. I mean, I think they have nothing but positive things to say.
Eventually, I see Mr. Michael Peterson coming to tell me that we have a couple minutes, and this couple of minutes I wanted to give it to you. Talk to the community. Tell them what's in your dreams. On a personal level and on a professional level, and you have the camera now and the floor.
All right. Well, like I said, I just think, I want to keep building upon the great traditions that are happening at Horace Mann and keep, providing opportunities for students and staff in the community to, accentuate the great things that are happening there. And then also, like I said, helping students develop the skills that allow them to be successful in every future endeavor, whether that's moving to Southeast Junior High or Northwest or North Central, or if it's outside of Iowa City, providing them the opportunity to do that. Also then providing opportunities for parents, to feel more connected with the school if they don't already. Because like I said, we have a very supportive parent population, but like I said, I just want them to feel that the doors are always open, that they're always welcome. The community, I said, is a very supportive community, and so keep that partnership up and running and going. Like I said, because ultimately we all want what's best for the kids and helping them be successful, and so that's.
And one of the great things that I heard about you, that you really try to follow your kids when they move to junior high and see how they are doing, and ask about how they are progressing.
Yep.
Which makes the educator more of a not only father figure, but family. The concern of somebody who cares, and that's not only with a mind and with a curriculum and instruction, but with a heart. And you are one of a heart.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
We are so proud of you, and we want to keep you rising and rising, but don't leave us when you rise so high.
No.
We need you in this community, and need your energy and your motivation and your enthusiasm. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you
very much. And ladies and gentlemen, this program will be on public access TV channels. It depends if you have cable or if you have digital. 2118, 118.6, 118.7 on digital, as well as on public access TV, of course, outlets, as computer, as well as YouTube, and will be on YouTube by 48 hours from now to watch the great school of Horace Mann in the future. Thank you.